Hi everybody, what? Try again. Hi everybody, welcome to Fast Homebrew. Actually, that sets the scene for what's about to happen. I'm making Kolsch today. It's the second time I've ever done it, and I've lost all the details just about, but I managed to go through my receipts and find the grains at least. But yeah, I'm going for a bit more complicated this time, so be prepared for a bit of a uh, longer video. And I guess what I'm starting off with here is a stepped mash, which I also lost the details on, and I know that I actually messed it up on the days. I didn't get quite what I wanted. But anyway, the first step is going to be just a little bit below 63 degrees. What am I doing with this guy? This guy is going in to sit on the bottom and protect the grain bag from the element in case the grain bag's touching the element at all. So yeah, anyway, first step of the mash is going to be just below 63 degrees, which is just below sort of the mashing temperature. Anyway, the grains that I've got are 81% Pilsner malt, and then, hang on, that's not right. That should be 0.2. Okay, 86% Pilsner malt, 10% Vienna, and 4% wheat. So it's all kind of base malts. So Kolsch is kind of a lightish style, so it's all base malts, and that's all going in there to mash. And yeah, I got the temperature right when I checked that. Afterwards, it was, as I said, just below 63, so 62. Can't read it. Whatever it is, I know I got that one right at least. So that was we're off to a good start, and that is going to sit there and mash for, I think, like what, 20 minutes or something before I start raising the temperature. Let's see if I can see my, oh yeah, rock. What do we got on the clock? It's half an hour at that temperature. Okay, so that's all done. Rock comes off, and now I need to give it a stir while I bring the temperature up. And then what I was sort of aiming for was just up a little bit to, I was going to do 4 steps. The next one was going to be 65, and then 70, and then a mash out. But yeah, as I guess I left the heat on for a little bit too long with this one, but I was stirring for quite some time. I must have cut the video, and it looked like it was at 65, but then later on when I checked the temperature, and how long is this going in for? 15 minutes at 65. Then later on when I checked the temperature, it was actually way closer to 70, so I sort of gave up on that and said, well, that'll do for the middle step, and I left it in a little bit longer. And now I think I'm just raising the temperature for mash out. As I said, I lost all my notes on this one, so I have no idea what I tried to do and what actually happened, but we're doing our best, aren't we? Fast Homebrew, we're not always perfect, but it's fun. And hey, I've actually tried a few of these, and it's actually quite a nice beer. So whatever happened, worked. Can't argue with results and all that. So this is, what am I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I've lost the plot. Okay, well, finally the mash bag is coming out, and that's going to get hoisted up, and out she comes. This was 5 kilos of grains in total, which for me, with my efficiency, works out to an og of roughly 43 ogs. And that clip stops the bag flopping around as the rope comes off, and that's the whole procedure. I'm pretty good at getting the grain bag out now. If you've seen some of my earlier videos, in fact, the original Kolsch that I did was so long ago, I wouldn't mind betting that I made a mess with the grain bag because I was pretty bad at it back then, but nowadays I get it right. And I actually sparged with more water than I used to nowadays as well. I use a full kettle, which is 1.5 litres, and it seems to have helped my efficiency for whatever reason, I don't know. But anyway, that's going back in while we wait for this to come up to boil. And whoopsie, nearly forgot the vegetable jigger. That's why I tie a piece of string around it so I can just fish it out afterwards instead of having to go at it with spoons or something. Okay, now I've got Hallertau hops here. They're 3% alpha acid, and I, again, don't know how many IBUs I'm going for. I would guess 25 IBUs based on the style, but anyway. Oh, here's me trying to get into one of the top groups on this racing game. I was really close to the top group, and this is me at the Singapore circuit, just doing the first few corners over and over again, trying to beat my ghost because I was that close. I really wanted to beat it, but by the time you get to that sort of point, you're so committed, and if you make any little mistakes, you just gotta keep going over and over. Find yourself doing the first turns 100 times in a row. But anyway, I got there in the end. Got into Group B for those that play Real Racing 3. Only time I've ever done it. Okay, now this, I've scoured the video and it looks like it's about 20 grams going in. So that's about 2/3 of a gram per litre. That's going in at flame out. And that's my stopwatch starting, and then we'll give it a whirlpool. Very good. And let that sit for a bit and let Max have an enjoyable pat because he's a good boy. Right, now I am sanitizing my... Hey, for those that remember Tyson, my mum and dad are getting a new dog soon as well, so there might be a new puppy in the videos by the end of the year. But anyway, what's going on here? I'm about to watch some cycling. I must be waiting for it to settle down a little bit more before I put it into the cube, which is all sanitized. And here we go. So there's my sample knot, because that sample tends to give a low reading. Here's my actual sample, so I'll measure that one out and see what I get. And now just transfer into the cube. So fill her up she goes. It's like a bit of a cloudy day with some wind about. And tip to get the last bits, but try not to get too much of the yucky stuff in. And what am I doing here? Am I going to do my hose trick? Sometimes I try and pour a little bit extra into the hose. No, hose coming off. Oh, it looks pretty full. Not putting too much knee into it there. And screw the cap on until a little bit trickles out, and then tighten it up real good so that it's safe. And yeah, so usually with a step mash, I don't know, you can see the gunk stuck on the bottom there. Whenever I turn the element on while it's mashing, I get a bit of stuff stuck, but the old barbecue scraper takes pretty good care of that, and now she's shiny again, so very good, very good. If you can't get it off, then citric acid is good. You pour some citric acid in there and everything just comes off with a wipe after that. So that's my hot sample, and it's reading about what I wanted. What did I say? 40, mid-40s. And obviously hot samples under read, so but then I do the thing and figure out that it's about right. So happy with that. Okay, so that's going up to the shed, and we're going through the full thing this time. So I will see you in a day or two for what do you call this? Yeasting day. Yeah, hip hip hooray is yeasting day. So out comes the cube with all the wet in it, and let's see if I can get it in without making my shoes all sticky. In she goes. And the strainer there helps aerate, and the handle helps hold the strainer. And now I'm looking for my yeast. So this is Kolsch yeast from my, I want to say, Pacific Ale that I did before this. What came before this one? Yeah, I reckon it's from the Pacific Ale that I did. And I've been saving that one because I thought, well, I've used some Kolsch yeast. Why don't I do a Kolsch again after all this time? And so there we go. I am making sure I get the last little bit by just pouring a little bit of work there into those containers, and I'll give them a stir just to get every last bit. Should be plenty anyway, but whatevs. I don't. Is overpitching supposed to be an issue? I don't think it's a deadly sin, but yeah. Look, this one fermented very clean, I'll tell you that, so there were no issues. And the temperature is about what I want it to be, I think, so... Or maybe it's not, maybe it's a little bit cold. So normally the new beer goes in the bottom without the temperature control because it sort of takes care of itself, and I don't want the temperature on the more mature beer to drop. So anyway, I'm sorting that out, and I'm putting it in there for 19, so we should get a nice clean ferment with the Kolsch yeast, and very good. So anything else on this one? No, saying bye-bye again, so I'm going to see you again. Oh yeah, that's right, I cold crashed this one. It's only the second time I've ever tried cold crashing. So what I'm going to do is put it into this fridge here, which is just a regular fridge. So I'll just make some space for it. It'll sit there, hopefully. Looks like it'll fit. Will it? Scientifically measuring. Can't quite tell. Try this ruler, handy dandy ruler that I've got sitting there. It's about that big. And yep, looks like it'll fit. So I'm just going to basically shove it across. Like I said, I think it's only the second time I've ever actually attempted a cold crash. So, and I'm not taking it right down to 0 or anything, but I'd like my Kolsch to be... Oh, and that temperature control is just to measure the temperature. But I'd like it to be clear. Hopefully this cold crash does something, not nothing. And it looked like that was a key for another beer. But we are obviously finished the video because there's the thumbs. And that took a while. But yeah, very good. Kolsch again. This time with a step mash. So be kind with comments, eh? Thanks for watching the video. Like, subscribe, etc., 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 etc.